The real mysteries are when you go home at night and you feel a cold presence in a room in an old house, and you turn and you think you see something or you hear something. Now,
here, like on Ghostbusters, I mean, you can come in and you can be.
That's the kind of mystery that I like to investigate. But
you could be like one of these guys.
I've had light experiences. I've seen lights that shouldn't have been there in an old house, and.
Hello, how are you? I have 12 voices.
Okay, so there's this movie, Spook Catchers, and it's about was it Groundhog Day and his friend Dr. Detroit. They're going ahead and, hey, let's talk to our smart friend from Stripes to start coming up with these backpacks that shoot lasers. They graduate college and they decide to live in this house that's got a pole in it, and they're all, hey, we can go ahead and catch some spooks for you with our laser backpacks. So give us a call. And Alien, she lives in this apartment building with Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. You know, she's like, he's like, I'm really lonely. And she's like, no, I gotta go make some eggs. So she goes and she puts the eggs on the counter, and she gets all scared because they're doing its own job for her. She gets all freaked out because she opens a door and it turns out, oh, it's somebody else's house and their dog's there. So they go over there and nothing's wrong, so they go back. Then they're like, all right, well, why don't we go catch these spooks at the hotel? They trash the shit out of it. There's this giant flying booger, but then they end up stuffing it in this mailbox that sucks them in or whatnot, and then they can become famous. And they even had a song, you know, when you hear a noise and you're really scared, what you gonna do? Call some spooks. And then comes Oz. No, it's the black cop from Crow. He wants to join them. And they're like, here, why don't you empty these mailboxes? And these statues at the other person's house, well, the dogs get loose. They put them in some sort of candy shell. They break out of it. So Aliens comes home, and she sits on the couch. The couch starts growing a bunch of hands. Turns out it was a person, or some people were living in there. And they pulled her into this room with the dog. I guess the dog paid him off. He sees that she's dressed in this, like, sexy curtain or whatever. So, well, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids is dancing with this big chesty broad, and turns out the dog is in his room too, and, like, they really should have put a better leash on the dog. He starts chasing him around, and then, like, I guess the dog did sex with him or something, because he's got, like, this crazy hair and his clothes are all torn up. And as it turns out, shit's going crazy all over because Kenneth Branagh shut off their power, and so it causes the house to explode. I guess they did some sort of bad wiring. So everything's all happening. Cab drivers are dying, and the booger monster's coming out eating the hot dogs. So the Ghostbusters, they get the armies and everything, and they, load up and rock and roll. They go to the apartment building to save Alien and Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, who apparently they boned. They go to the top. There's this, I think, like, David Bowie comes in and starts shooting lasers and lightning at him, and she disappears when they shoot her with the backpacks. And then all of a sudden, here comes this Michelin tire kid. Starts crushing on the town, and they shoot him too. And then at the end, it's just this whole other thing that it's like a big ass piece of light or whatever. So, like, I'll tell you what, how about we all shoot it together with our backpacks and it'll explode? So it does. And then, they come out covered in shoot some sort of jizz everywhere. They're like, oh shit, we killed aliens and Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. So, and then as it turns out, she was just hiding inside this big turd or whatever that the dogs laid. Groundhog Day doesn't care. He starts making out with her. And then the Crow Cop's just like, oh yeah. And then everybody's all happy. They get into the car. Yeah, so they got one coming out with a bunch of gashes. So, maybe it's, I don't know if it's really connected to it, but I'll take you kids to see it. Get in the car.